and welcome back to another episode of From Chains to Change. My name is Dr. Matthew Green. I am joined here by my colleagues.
I am Consuela Sway Gaines.
And I'm Marcus Simmons, known as Chachi.
We have an exciting episode today. We are full of energy in this room. We're going to be talking about election results, constitutional amendment election, statewide election. A lot of things have happened over the past month, a lot of state organization, and we just want to wrap it up for folks, let folks really know what happened, what were the results, and what is the impact for you at home. So let's jump right into it. What happened this past weekend, guys?
Victory. Victory.
We won. It was a victory, a strong victory. Yeah. Louisiana.
Well, what really happened was unity. Something we haven't seen in a very long time. Togetherness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was beautiful to see people, even in early voting.
Yeah.
Folks were excited because a lot of people were out there during early vote. I'm an early voter. I've never voted on the actual election day because, I strongly believe anything can happen in between the time early voting happens and the actual election day. So I'm like, I'm going to do this early, get it out the way, and don't have to worry about it. I'm done. So I early voted no on all, and very proud to vote no on all.
Yeah.
And just to be clear for the viewers at home, there were 4 constitutional amendments. The first one dealt with specialty courts. That one failed. The second one dealt with taxation and some funds and election funding. That one failed. The third one affected juveniles being tried as adults. That one failed. And the fourth one was about how judges were appointed and trying to rush those elections through. And that one failed. So all 4 failed. And we're going to dive into some of the how all that happened. Sway was talking about early voting. I early voted, and I was amazed because I heard how many people were voting early.
Yes. And we are a nonpartisan organization, so we stay away from any particular parties, but we did a lot of educating. We actually had a town hall where it was open to the public, where the public can come and hear from heads of different organizations, from Chico Yancey, from Voters Organized to Educate, Terry Landry, and we had Terry Landry Jr. I have to make that Terry Landry Jr. And so we had different people from different organizations who were able to speak to each one of those amendments and how they can impact the citizens and the children of Louisiana. So, people were able to ask questions and to get some clarity about these amendments because they were very confusing in their language.
Right.
They were very vague. They were very, it was confusing to a lot of people because everybody came and was like, I don't know what to do with these amendments. And so they were able to get educated on what these amendments are, what type of impact they would have on their communities, on them as taxpayers. And so I think that was the thing that really helped to get these amendments to get pretty much shot down is to educate folks.
Well, I was going to throw it to Marcus because they weren't just shot down. It was by a wide margin. It was 60 to 65% statewide that voters rejected this. And Marcus, at the tip, you said unity. I was wondering, say more about that, because
we woke this. Oh, I'm done.
There you
go. We woke the sleeping giant. That's what happened. The sleeping giant woke up, and I think that the trepidation of trying to, despite if you want to vote or not, right? If you don't understand, you feel safer not getting yourself involved and causing harm. Well, we did an excellent job at laymaning or making the information plain to the layman, so people understood it. And I think so moving forward, that's what needs to happen. So from here on out, if politicians cannot make the information easy for you to understand, chances are they're hiding something.
Yes.
Moving forward.
Yes. Yes.
And so, thinking about that theme of unity, right? Waking the sleeping giant. There were a lot of people involved in
Yes,
this,
It
you
was.
know?
yes, yes,
I think about
yes.
all the people that Vote had involved here in Lafayette. I think about that town hall Sway was mentioned. We had a lot of people. We had people coming in from NOLA
Yes.
Yes.
for the
Yes,
town
yes,
hall.
yes, yes.
And then we also had people in New Iberia, right?
Yes,
Just last
yes,
week,
yes,
Matt
yes.
Isaacs and myself were on a radio show
Yes.
in New Iberia, a couple Vote members, and Kevin Dalcourt was there too. So a whole
Okay,
vote squad.
okay.
But
And
there-
even more exciting, John Legend.
Yes.
John Legend, who is a partner of Voice of the Experience, has been for years. I know some people were probably like, where did he come
Where
from?
did he come
But
from?
he
Yeah.
has been a partner with Vote
Yeah.
for
years
for
and years.
several years now.
Not
This is
only
his
him.
first time
Yeah.
being part of something that we are doing, or and just having him, I think, and we sent out over a good 500,000 robocalls for John Legend.
Wow.
He was had him on the radio, so everybody knows John's voice when they hear it, and so I think he was very instrumental in getting the message out
Yeah.
and getting the word out, because he explained it very well in
So-
the PSA.
Marcus said simplifying the amendments really encouraged people to know more and get out that vote. What do you think really propelled this to get such a unified front out there?
I think a lot of it had to do with, especially when people realized when and how these amendments were proposed and kind of placed on our ballots, was during a special budget
Yeah.
session.
Wasn't the regular session.
No.
It wasn't a regular session, and so that, I think people were kind of suspect then, like, why are these, especially the one about the children, Amendment 3,
Yeah.
why is this, why wasn't that in the special crime session?
Yep.
Why now? Less people are paying attention. So I think that more people were paying attention than we realized, and more people had, they questioned, they were really questioning, like, what are these amendments about? So unlike what our governor is saying, that we're conditioned to failure, people want this state to do better.
Yeah. Whew, there's
People want this state to be in a better position than what it's in. And when they started looking at these amendments and seeing how, in fact, these amendments can be more harmful
Right.
than good, they were like, not just no, but heck no.
Yeah.
So our people were paying attention.
Yeah, I think about what you're saying about so many people want this state to do better, and how true that is across the board, across parties. For me, I reflect on the work that's been going on both behind the scenes out in public for at least the past 2 months. And for me, the biggest thing was seeing how many statewide partners were coming together, right? There weren't just folks in New Orleans. It wasn't just Baton Rouge. It was folks out in Lafayette, folks in the Acadiana area, Shreveport folks. There was Power Coalition,
Power
Flick,
Coalition.
Vote,
Black
new
Lives
organization,
Matter.
Liberty and Dignity Coalition, right?
Yes.
There were a bunch of groups, and even some independent folks who just really wanted to get in there and make a change.
Yes.
And it highlights something Vote has been preaching, right? That your power is in your voice.
That's right.
Yes.
And when we come together, right, this shirt, Waking the Sleeping Giant,
Yes.
there are so many people who want a better Louisiana and know Louisiana deserves better
Yes.
than what it's been getting, that it just highlights to me, right, like how much people are beaten down, and right, and
Right.
when you can come together to
Right.
find that power and
Right.
find that
Right.
voice,
Right.
you can create change for the better.
Right.
Yeah.
You can tell politicians, right, no, y'all work for us.
Right.
Y'all aren't going to
Yes.
be doing this.
Yes.
We don't,
Yes.
You
and
know?
that's what NARS always emphasizes. They work for us. They are term limited. We're not. As registered voters, we are not term limited. They work for us. you are in these positions to do what we want and need you to do, not what you want to do for yourself and your buddies, but for the entire state, no matter what party affiliation. These folks, they got to get their mind right, and I hope that this
Right.
got their mind right, because
Basically, do
we're not playing. The citizens, we're not playing
Just-
with these
just-
politicians anymore.
just do the job you were hired to do.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And
That's all you got to do.
make, they want to use this. Make Louisiana great.
Right, right. You know,
Make
and I
Louisiana
want to say that I think fear brought people out.
Yes.
You know, because the previous election, well, the previous crime session,
Yes.
Yeah.
people realized that they slept.
Yeah.
That they slept.
Big
People
time.
realized, and they were just waiting for an opportunity
people
to
lost
redeem themselves and
Their
right or
parole,
wrong. Right,
There's no more
right,
parole.
right,
You know, and,
Right.
and people slept on that.
right.
All of that happened. You know, we were there, but not enough of us were there and putting that information out.
Right.
But now people are starting to wake up. We're waking up that sleeping giant.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing. And we just have to continue to do that. And that's what we plan to do for the rest of the year, going into the 2026
Right,
elections,
right.
which are very important as well.
Don't skip over this legislative session starting April.
No.
April 4th.
No.
Yeah,
April
come on.
4th. The legislative session, I'm just curious. I haven't looked at any bills that are going to be in session yet, but I can only imagine what those bills will look like. They'll probably, we're seeing that they don't follow their own rules.
Yeah.
They
Right.
just do things the way they want to do it. I mean,
Yes,
vote
yes,
file
yes.
lawsuit on Amendment 1 and 3 because of the way these bills. One had actually failed.
Failed in its subcommittee.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
failed in the subcommittee.
So they reworded it.
So they are
Moved it to a different
Moved
subcommittee.
it to a,
you know, just kind of not really following their own rules. And so we are going to be paying attention, and we are going to keep you abreast about
Absolutely.
what is happening.
And I think, right, like this election was, it was constitutional amendment. So people are voting directly on issues. And that doesn't typically happen. When we go to legislative session, it's up to you to call your representatives. And sometimes people, right, don't stay on top of their representatives, but then also sometimes representatives don't do what's in the best interest of their communities. And I think this election really highlights, right, like that representatives need to really listen to what the people of Louisiana are saying, because if people had a chance to go out there and vote on a lot of these bills that become law, I bet a lot of them would not pass because it's
Right.
not what the people want, but it's still what legislature wants.
And what I found, I didn't notice it until recently. You know, normally when there's an election coming up, you get some mail from the
reminders, yeah.
Secretary of State's office. Why didn't we receive anything
Right.
from the Secretary of State's office for this particular election?
Yeah, they were hoping on low voter
Because
turnout.
Right,
we
yes,
talked
yes,
to
yes.
some voters came through the building, and they were
And
like,
they were
I didn't
like,
even know
"We didn't
today was an
receive
election.
anything."
I
Yep.
didn't receive anything in the mail about the election. I was like, you know what? That's true. We usually receive something in the mail from the Secretary of State's office reminding us that there's an important
well,
election
that goes to
coming
show you
up.
how
And it didn't
wide,
happen.
how far the reach is. You know, we're up against a system. Remember that.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's not just a person. It's a system.
Yep.
very true. It is. So, you know, we have to continue to really, really pay attention and stay focused. And I think our greatest win is the unity part.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's how we were able to win, by uniting and coming together.
Not surrendering.
Power
No
is
surrender.
in numbers, right?
Yes.
Power is in numbers. No one particular organization can do anything. It took an entire state
Yeah.
to do this.
That's right. That's right.
So we have to just continue doing that and continue bringing people in to educate them and keep them informed on what's
And
taking place.
and the thing, I think this needs to be said because it often doesn't get said enough, right? That bringing people together, so many groups, right? In order to work in a coalition like that, sometimes you gotta put your ego on the side,
Yes.
and
Yes.
buckle up your
Yes.
shoes
Yes.
and do
Yes.
what needs to
Yes.
be done and
Yes.
help out.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen enough in politics, right? Whether it's people running in politics, the people running campaigns, the people doing whatever, it is an ego-driven field where we really just need grassroots people on the ground working with folks, right?
Yeah.
And this was really a grassroots campaign. It was
was.
really about talking to 5 people you know.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, how to do. I know people I work with and people in the community who said the same thing. There's an election coming up, and I said, make sure you go vote. Post it on social media. 5 people see it, right? Each
That's
time,
right.
so many
That's
people
right.
see it and
Yes.
find out
Yes.
more.
Yes. Yes.
And I think this campaign, this statewide campaign that folks put together, as much as the governor wants to say it was paid for by outside people, the 3 of us live here. We're here, right? In
Exactly.
Acadiana and Lafayette.
And I didn't get paid
Right,
any
no.
of it.
I know I didn't get paid either. It's not my job.
No, what we did was we got out in the rain
Yep.
and the lightning, you know, and we have the evidence of that. I mean, it's on social media. We drove, we were in the rain, you know, it was lightning across the street from us, but we knew how important this was, and we wasn't going to surrender.
Yep.
That's what it was, which brings me to this moment where I think it's deserving that we take time out to thank the people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank the people
Yeah.
for their participation.
You know what? I'm not gonna thank them. Congratulations.
Congratulate them.
Ooh.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
For this huge win.
Yes.
How often do you get to win? Everybody wants
I know
to be a winner,
we
right?
all feel good. I know the people feel good, the community.
Yes.
If they don't have a platform to be able to say it like
Yeah.
this, but I know they feel good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know they do.
And we can't lose that
'Cause,
feeling.
you know, I posted things on my social media and people were like,
Yes,
we did it,
yes,
we won,
yes,
we
yes.
did it. People are excited. People are excited. Let's keep that momentum, y'all.
Yeah,
Hey, you can't go back to
Let's
sleep.
Keep the momentum.
No,
Can't go back to sleep.
no,
Don't
no.
get laxidocious. Don't just think this isn't it. So if we won this, you gotta know they're coming for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna come with some really, really crazy things that are absolutely gonna be harmful to so many people because of their loss.
Yeah.
Some people they're sore losers. So they're gonna come up with something, you know, to kind of like
Distract
so
us.
just be prepared.
Right.
Just be
Oh,
prepared.
yeah.
Right.
Keep your boots on because we're gonna need you again.
Right.
We're gonna need you again before it's all over.
And also remember, rule, you got to have foresight. You got to think ahead,
Yes.
see past what you're looking at. We celebrate, we enjoy this moment. And of course, the legislative session in April, like you said.
4th.
However, the reason they have the lead on us is because they think ahead. 20, 30 years down the line, we need to be thinking about 2026.
Yeah, because this stuff was in preparation years ago.
We got to be thinking, right,
Years
we
ago.
have to be thinking about the election coming, you know, the next governor's race, the next
Yeah.
president's election, Congress, everything.
And I think this leads me to something that I have noticed for the past 7 years that always gets me, and it's voting and using your voice and advocating is hugely important. But there are so many elections in Louisiana
Yes.
that go unopposed,
Yes.
where it's just one
Yes.
person in the election.
Yes.
And we all know that may not be the most qualified person. Hardly ever is it the most qualified person,
Right,
right?
right.
Because having that competition pushes you to be a better
Yes.
legislator, actually respond to your community. And so I encourage everybody we need more civically engaged and active folks, not just in voting, not just in calling your representative, but willing to step up and
Right.
say, you know, I want to be part of the solution.
Right.
I want to be part of the
Right.
solution here, and I think that I can help my community.
Yes.
And you know,
Yes.
I've said this all before,
Yes.
right? Like, Louisiana has plenty of politicians.
Yes.
Everybody out there knows that.
Right. Right.
And they're all, not all of them are great. And I think the track record of why people are not engaged as much has bared out over time.
Man, but we don't need politicians.
And-
We
We
need
don't.
leaders.
We need-
and
we
that
need
just
leaders.
That made me
That's
think
what we need.
about how they're saying, "Oh, we're trying to attract businesses to Louisiana." Not with politics like this.
Right. Exactly.
Who's going to want
Right.
to come
Right.
here and do
Right.
business
Right.
in Louisiana
Right.
with these types of politics
Right.
happening?
Right. Right.
Where you have
You're robbing
our
your
governor
own
supporting
people.
some amendments that the entire state shut down. Like,
Yep.
no. So they got to get it together. And I just want to remind folks, next month, well, rather this month, April, if you want to come and join and be a part of Voice of the Experience, or be a part of this waking the sleeping giant up in here, we have our monthly meetings, our monthly gatherings every third Thursday of the month. It will be on April 17th, Thursday, April 17th at Trendy Spaces, located at 102 Carmel Drive, right here in Lafayette, Louisiana, 6 p.m. Come and join us, because it's going to be a celebration that night. We're
Right.
gonna
And
celebrate.
if you have not been to the new office in Trinity Spaces, you definitely need to show up and check
Right.
it out, because
It's beautiful.
the thing is, it is beautiful.
Yes,
it is
it is.
flawless. It is
Yes,
such
it
a great
is.
space. And it's just,
And-
our meetings are great too.
And the food,
Exactly.
the food at the gathering is superb. Right.
Superb.
So
You
don't
will
so know that.
You won't be hungry. I promise you that. So
Yes.
we just thank all of you for joining us for this episode of From Change to Change, and we hope to see a lot of you on the 17th. And also, they're actually in preparation of a lobby day.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
Right. Okay.
I'll have more information about the lobby day that will be held at the state capitol on our next episode.
So, thank you for joining. Until then, no surrender.
No retreat.